Hello, my name is Natalia Yevchenko, and I will be presenting an in-depth analysis on surviving the sinking of the Titanic. The main question to analyze was who was most likely and who was least likely to perish in this tragedy. The dataset that I chose was Titanic Passengers List, downloaded from publictableau.com. This dataset included variables such as class, name, age, destination, and ticket number of all known passengers of the Titanic. The total observations of this set are 1,309 observations. The raw dataset was not ready to be analyzed and needed to be cleaned up first. There are variables that are irrelevant to my analysis, such as the passenger's destination and ticket number. These were promptly removed. The values of 1 and 0, which denoted if a passenger survived or perished, were replaced by the words yes and no. This can be done in Excel right away, or later after the set was uploaded to Tableau. Once the dataset was cleaned up, the dataset looked something like this, with fewer columns and modified data. Once the data was in Tableau, the analysis could begin. This first chart broke down the survival by age group and gender. Visually speaking, it is clear to see that the darker the color, the more passengers are in that particular group. It is easy to see that males 19 to 30 years old perished more than any other group. The flip side is that females of the same age range survived the most. The next chart shows passenger survival by class in relation to the total passengers on board. The most notable slice of this pie is the huge chunk of third-class passengers that perished. Nearly twice as many third-class passengers perished as second and first combined. On the contrary, 2/3 of the first-class passengers survived. The next chart breaks down passengers by boats by class. The first 8 boats contain almost exclusively first-class passengers. The next few shift to second class, and the last few boats contain more third-class passengers. It must be noted that while the capacity per boat is roughly 40 apiece, all but 2 of the boats were under capacity, some dipping as low as only a quarter full. The last chart was about something that piqued my curiosity. How much did the passengers pay for their fare whose trips ended in their death? The finding was surprising. Although third class had 528 casualties, their total fare amounted to roughly $1,500 shy of what the 123 first-class casualties paid. Or looking at it another way, each of those third-class casualties paid an average of $12 to $15 for a trip that would end in their death. It is important to see this dataset as showing only a partial picture of the story of the sinking of the Titanic. This set only includes data for known passengers and does not include any data for the roughly 900 or so crew and staff members, most of which also perished in this tragedy. To answer the initial question, a third-class passenger between the ages of 19 to 30-year-old male was most likely to perish in this tragedy. A first-class female passenger of any age was most likely to survive. Thank you for listening to my presentation.